Minister Grace Fu, Mr. Ang Kong Hwa, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning to all of you. I'm very pleased to join you today for the opening of the Sembawang Tengeh Floating Solar Farm here at Tengeh Reservoir. This is Singapore's first large-scale floating solar photovoltaic system. At 45 hectares, about the size of 45 football fields, it's one of the largest in the world. We came up with the idea of building a floating solar farm a decade ago. We were looking for ways to harness solar energy at scale. Because we do have year-round bright sunlight for solar power. Not today, but most days. Unlike wind or hydropower, which are not reliable or even available here. As the cost of solar cells came down, solar power became increasingly viable and attractive to us. So we made use of whatever available space we could find to install solar panels. We put them on building rooftops, we put them on vacant state properties, but we still lacked large-scale plots of land to scale up our solar power deployment. Hence, the idea of a floating solar farm was attractive because it allowed us to make full use of the large surface area of reservoirs while giving them a dual use. So, in 2016, PUB, together with EDB, launched a 1 megawatt peak test bed at Tengeh Reservoir. This was a first-of-its-kind R&D center for floating solar PV systems. Not only did it show that the floating solar farm was feasible and did not affect surrounding wildlife or the water quality, but it also performed better than a conventional rooftop solar power system because of the cooler reservoir environment, 15% better. And this gave us the confidence to go ahead to develop this 60 megawatt peak solar farm. The energy generated here will be fed into the national grid. And it'll be enough to power about 16,000 four-room HDB flats. Or, alternatively, it's more than enough to power the operations of our local water treatment plants that treat reservoir water to produce clean drinking water for Singapore. It is green energy produced without carbon emissions, and it will help us reduce our carbon emissions, equivalent to removing 7,000 cars from the roads. And that makes Singapore one of the few countries in the world to have a fully green waterworks system, producing clean water with 100% clean energy, which is another remarkable achievement in our water story. Because the pilot was so successful, we've now got Tengeh PV farm here, and we will be building similar floating solar farms on Bedok and Lower Seletar reservoirs, which we expect to complete later this year. This floating solar farm at Tengeh was designed, built, owned, and operated by Sembcorp Floating Solar Singapore in partnership with PUB. They completed this project in less than a year, despite manpower and resource challenges caused by COVID-19. They did so using innovative techniques and improvements in the design and construction process. For example, Sembcorp's engineers custom-built a device that sped up the assembly of the solar panels to the floats by up to 50%. And the engineers also designed gaps between the solar panels to allow sunlight to pass through, and deployed aerators to maintain oxygen levels in the water, which minimized the impact on diversity and water quality in the reservoir. These were small improvements, but they made all the difference in making the project work. So I commend the team for a job very well done. It's important that we continue to find ways to shift away from fossil fuels to meet our energy needs. Singapore is now one of the most solar-dense cities in the world, having grown our solar capacity more than 7 times since 2015. By 2030, we plan to have installed at least 2 gigawatt peak of solar PV capacity here. Innovations such as floating solar farms will help us overcome our physical constraints. And I hope this project will give our solar and renewable energy industry a boost and pave the way for more such facilities to be built here and in the region. This will take us one big step forwards towards environmental sustainability as we transition into a low-carbon world. Let me congratulate PUB and Sembcorp once again for achieving this important milestone in our journey towards a sustainable and green Singapore. And now it's my pleasure to declare the Sembcorp Tengeh Floating Solar Farm open. Thank you.